Oh, hang on, that's a bit unusual. There we go. Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons. I'm assuming you can hear me goodly because my computer is whining like a piece of arse. It's the 10th day of VEDA. It's day 10 and I'm doing another live stream and this will only last for about half an hour. But anyway, yes, hello. Tessellating Hexagons is me and 10th day of VEDA is also me. And hello, of course, to the lovely people watching me right now. So, Yelena, Laura and ESC Alphon. Are we having a good day so far? It seems strange to be streaming during the daytime, but it is indeed the daytime. This is like 6.5 hours earlier than I normally stream, but that's because it's a Sunday stream, and Sunday streams are earlier in the day, and hello, Philly G. Hi. I'm not sure what else I can say, because I never come into these streams with anything pre-planned to say, because it's just about me putting my face on the internet and interacting with you lovely people over here in the chat. It seems weird for me to gesture at nothing like this, but then on the video itself you could see me gesturing at the chat, and so you know I'm talking about you lovely people. I could just point at the camera because you are there, and I'm here. Am I high? Anyway, does anyone have any topics of conversation they wish to shout at my face? Because I have nothing else to really say. But knowing me and knowing these streams, I'll get off on some sort of tangent and then just ramble for the full half hour about whatever, so you could be the person who comes up with this topic of conversation that defines this entire stream. This is why I don't do daytime streams. Oh yeah, I heard about Dow Bob betting on himself. That's cute. That's really cute. In all seriousness, I don't mean to take the piss out of him, but the Netherlands does not have a song that's strong enough to win given what it's up against. Whether you factor in hype or not, I highly doubt the Netherlands. Like, Netherlands may well qualify, because on a technical level their song is good and well written and stuff, but people aren't fangasming over it, and there isn't enough beforehand hype, so it's... I don't even think it's going to be in the top 3 in the end, so, I mean, at least whichever bookmakers he betted with have received a nice €1,000 boon. Eurovision in concert. Every year, I see that it happens, and then I look up recap of Eurovision in concert, or, you know, Eurovision in concert, insert year here, recap. And they never exist. Or maybe they do, I just don't remember, but I want to see a recap of all of the performances, but no one, like, those recap videos don't seem to exist. Or when they do, I've stopped caring, so who was good, who was bad? Just give me the juicy ass end of the gossip. Because I'm going to just predict that honestly, I don't have the full lineup of participating countries memorized, but I'm already going to predict people are going to say, oh, Switzerland and Bulgaria had really terrible live performances because we've decided we don't want them to do well, and Cyprus performed badly, but we like them, so we're going to say they did fine when, I don't know. The point is, -1's performance in Moscow wasn't that good. And, oh yes, I actually rewatched Wednesday's stream, yesterday or the day before, and I saw that you'd asked in the chat, Philly G, what it was I don't like about Yorkshire, and I completely missed it. Like, I didn't notice when I was streaming at the time, and then I saw it in post, and I thought, why did I not answer that question? Well, obviously, because I didn't notice it, but as a place, like, having been born there and having spent so much of my life there, it's just, amongst other things, the people and the local accent just really grate on me, because, like, I'm probably just generalizing here, but this is based on years and years of local experience, but people of Yorkshire have the idea of regional family, like, they're sort of very exclusive in that, like, the 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 sort of very exclusive in that, like they have the sense of family with their closest neighbours and, oh, fellow Yorkshire person, then let's be friends because Yorkshire. But then they extend that to meaning, if you're not from Yorkshire, go fuck yourself, we will treat you like absolute shit. And so despite the fact that I was born in Yorkshire because I don't have a Yorkshire accent, they kind of treat me like arse. And that's not the only, like this isn't me saying, oh, they didn't treat me like a prince, therefore it's a horrible place. But that's one of the many reasons. I don't want to turn this stream into a rant about why I don't like Yorkshire, but like, I don't like the accent, I don't like the mentality. It's just generally, I had a lot, and I mean a lot of negative experiences there growing up, so. And the only performance from Eurovision in concert that I saw was the UK's one, and it didn't seem that bad. Like, it seemed like an adequate reflection of the song itself, in that it's unremarkable, but in a good, but inoffensive way, so I don't think they did anything wrong. But theirs is the only performance that I saw, so I suppose it inspires confidence that they won't give a shit live performance in Stockholm, because that's one thing that happens with the UK. Either we have a bad song performed okay, or an okay song performed bad. Or a really good song but performed at the very end of the show because whichever broadcaster it was couldn't stand to see us do well. Oh, I am still salty about 2014, although it wasn't entirely the running order's fault, but it helped. Because, okay, the camera work was a bit meh, and the performance was a bit meh, but just, I'm just incredibly salty that the UK didn't do better in 2014, basically. And just right there, I got sidetracked by the fact that it felt like my memory stick had suddenly become magnetic and it had magnetized to my spare laptop, my shitbook as I call it. But no, oh no, it has. What the fuck? Should I be worried? Why is what? It's either this or the shitbook itself, but one of them has become magnetic, and I feel like that should worry me, because if you magnetize technology, it kind of goes a bit weird. So that's slightly worrying. Hang on. No, it's the shitbook. The shitbook's suddenly become magnetic, and this bothers me. Or is it? Well, now I can't tell. Anyway, yeah, I suppose that is kind of true. That I think one problem with the UK's song this year is sometimes Jake is a backing singer and sometimes he's the lead vocals, and they're going to need to work on the dynamic of that. What am I trying to say? That they should have some sort of dynamic volume adjustment on the fly during their performance so that it doesn't sound too strange. And see, Spain, I could say with certainty, aren't going to win, because their song, as I've said so many times before, their song is good, it's just not amazing, brilliant. And yet, it does seem kind of unfair to ship these people, bearing in mind they have their own relationships already, or whatever, like, forcing relationships on people who might already have relationships. You know what I mean? Because sometimes Tumblr gets it right when they say don't ship real people, or at least poke holes in the box first. Haha, it's a joke about sending people through the post. Huh. I got up fairly late today, and so I'm still rather tired. Because, I don't know, I've been staying up fairly late recently, and that's been having an impact on when I wake up. I will reiterate, because some people don't seem to get it, like, I don't hate the Spanish song. I do think it's good. It's just not the brilliant, amazing, best thing since sliced bread thing that people have been claiming it is. I feel about it kind of the way I feel about Waterloo. It's not brilliantly amazing. It's not bad for its time, but it's not this solid gold piece of, like, Say Yay is definitely better than Waterloo. Don't get the metaphors confused here, but Waterloo wasn't amazing, and it never has been, and Say Yay is good, but not amazing. Like, it's an 8 or 9 out of 10, not a 50 out of 10. And France, definitely France's best effort for, well, It's their most contemporary song. I keep messing with the memory stick. It's gonna keep coming up on the recording. I'll just throw it behind me. France, it is their most contemporary effort at the contest, and I applaud that. I still worry about how well it'll actually do, because there are other songs in the semi-finals that have received more hype than them, so I still feel like Russia's going to do unfairly well, because, as I've said, their song, again, isn't bad, but it isn't the best song this year. It isn't the best thing since sliced bread. It's just good, but that's it. And I do mean to say that with that intonation. Like, it's good, but it's not like a solid good, yes, definite. It's just kind of, it's a song that exists, but it is somewhat worrying, but the lyrics lack substance, and the music video is very, very intense graphic bluster, because that then implies that the staging is going to be graphic bluster, kind of Mons Zelmerleux style, which means that for the second year in a row, people are going to vote for the performance, the background, the staging, rather than the song itself, and that's not what it's about. And yeah, I heard about Sergei. Like, I saw an article saying that he'd fainted during a live performance, and I didn't realize that was like a thing that was happening now. Like, that was a live blogged article. I thought, oh, he was performing sometime, I don't know, last week or whenever, and he fainted. But no, this was in the last 5 minutes, Sergei Lazarev fainted during a live performance, and I thought, okay, wow, this is a lot more current than I realized. Maybe he'll faint at Eurovision. Maybe that'll cost him the qualification. Maybe he won't be overrated after all. And obviously, I don't wish ill health upon him. It's just a random thought that appeared in my head. And the more I talk about it, the worse it's going to make me sound. As I said, I'm not hoping that he does badly. It's just I don't want him to be overrated. And the condition of his health has nothing to do with that. I'm trying to talk myself out of holes, and it's not really working. So that's a strange thing. In my reviews, I gave France a 9 out of 10 and a Hungary a 10 out of 10. And I still stand by that, but comparing the two side by side, I'm not sure. I would rather listen to Hungary, but I think France is a better song overall. But it's funny, because Hungary was like really, really highly rated when it was chosen, and now it's kind of just dropped off the radar, and I find that kind of funny, because I like it. It is a good song. The lyrics are very questionable though, like not in a haha suggestive dirty sort of way, but just kind of what he's saying doesn't make a lot of sense. Like the message is there, and that's like, it's got a very noble message, but the wording is kind of like, there's some really good stuff in there and some really questionable stuff as well. So there's kind of, it's a really weird mix, because on one hand you've got lyrics like, they don't know how to value uniqueness, so they turn the other way, or turn their heads away. I'm not sure which one it is, because his diction isn't the best. But then you've also got, when there's no more products to sell, everyone will cast their own spell. What the fuck does that mean? But I get what he's saying, but the lyrics are a bit questionable. Whereas France has solid lyrics throughout. It's like, it sounds more like a real world song. Whereas Hungary sounds like a Eurovision only song. Like, it doesn't sound like you'd hear it in the charts as well, but in Eurovision itself, that doesn't matter too much. But I think, in the end, France will do better than Hungary, but that's the thing. I would rather listen to Hungary of the two, but they're both really good songs, because this year, almost everyone has sent really amazing songs. Like, I will say, even Montenegro, but with the asterisk that it's bad and nobody likes it, but stylistically, like, for the style they're going for, it is still impressive for what they're sending. It's just not very good in the eyes of the public. And yes, that is correct. In the UK, they're going to be showing the semi-finals on BBC 4 because BBC 3 no longer exists. I mean, technically it still exists, it's just all online, but there's a rule in the EBU thing saying you have to show whichever semi-final you're voting in on TV, so we can't show it on BBC 3 anymore. And so because BBC 3 is all online, it as good as doesn't exist in the eyes of the public, because it is kind of bullshit what they did with BBC 3. Because, do I say because too much? But, like, I think they were thinking, oh, we'll move it online because digital generation, it'll make, everyone will love it even more because it's all online. And people are just like, lol, nope. You've moved it online, so it doesn't exist anymore. But yes, the semi-finals will be on BBC 4 and the final will be on BBC 1. I look forward to the day when they show all three shows on BBC 1. I feel like they did that in 2012, but apparently no one else remembers this. But, yeah. And for everyone else, obviously, check your country's broadcasting details, and if you're one of the unlucky souls who lives in Portugal, just watch it on Eurovision.tv. But that does bother me a bit, that Portugal, right, they withdrew this year because they realized that the Festival de Canção is kind of a bit crappy. And so they're going to say, yes, we'll come back in 2017 with a restructured selection process. We'll be better than ever. We'll come back in 2017. We're going to be brilliant. But they're not going to broadcast the 2016 contest at all. This is the first time since Portugal's debut that they're not going to broadcast the contest at all. And I feel like, does that kind of not exactly contradict with what you're trying to do, Portugal? Because I know certainly back in the day there was a rule saying if you didn't broadcast the contest last year, then they can't take part this year, or something like that. I'm trying to move the curtain because it's bothering me that, like, this hand is lighter than this hand. I don't know. At least I'm not being completely bleached by the sun because like, my bedroom window is literally right behind the computer, and for a load of my VEDA videos this year, I'm just having direct sunlight straight on my face, and so it makes me look incredibly pale. Armenia this year, I've not really seen how people feel about it, because I feel like a lot of people don't like it because they don't get it. And I'm not saying everyone who doesn't like it doesn't get it, because that's something that happened with Finland last year. A lot of people saying, oh, if you don't like Pertti Kurikan Nimi Paivat, then either you're racist against disabled people, exact quote, or you don't get punk. And like, no, I just think it sounds too much like a demo. In the case of Armenia this year, I feel like a lot of people don't get it, but some people do get it and don't like it. But I don't know how people feel about it, but I like it personally. It's one of my favorites, but I'm not going to say exactly where it is, but you could expect to see it in my top 10 of, in the final week of my Eurovision Top 43. I'm not going to say exactly where, but it is up there. So, I don't know how people feel about it, but I think it's a good song, even though, again, the lyrics are a little bit, like, her lyrics make sense, they're just not perfect grammar, and so her diction makes it hard to understand what she's saying, and so it does kind of sound like Iggy Azalea. You know that viral video of Iggy Azalea attempting to do freestyle rap? It does kind of sound like that if you don't know what she's saying, so that's a fun thing. And, all of a sudden, it's happened again. I'm talking, and I'm rambling about stuff, and then I just run out of things to say, and then it just stops. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, as far as this year goes, I think Russia is the only one that's, well, I would say Russia's the only one that's properly overrated. I feel like Spain is overrated by definition, but not in such a way that means, oh, they don't deserve the hype, because, as I said, Spain deserves hype, but just not quite as much as they've been getting, whereas Russia is just straight up overhyped. And I feel sorry for the likes of San Marino and Montenegro, because their songs have merit, some more than others, but they're just completely not right. And hold on, I have this little stack of batteries on my desk just there, and I've piled them up in such a way that, like, it's aesthetically pleasing, but I need to put something there to hold them in place, otherwise they'll just spill out everywhere. And I'm talking about stuff that nobody will understand, so I may as well just not ramble about this pile of batteries on my desk. That is this stream in a nutshell. Tess rambles about a pile of batteries. I have 5 viewers and nobody's saying anything, so I can only assume that I'm a failure as a broadcaster. I'm overreacting, I'm sure. By the way, do you love when people like this jumper that I'm wearing? Because this and the purple one that I was wearing in yesterday's VEDA video, they were both made by my mother because my mother makes me jumpers sometimes, and these are the only 2 that I have with me up here, but I have a load more at home. And I'll be going home in a couple of weeks for the summer. My favourite Spanish entry in recent years? That's a tricky question. I suppose it depends on how you define most recent years, because certainly Say Yay is one of my favourites from recent years. Dancing in the Rain is good as well, and Algo Pequeñito, Pequeñito, I know too many languages, but Daniel Dijes 2010, that was a good song despite what people said. Que me quiten lo bailao, that was fun. Like, it wasn't spectacular. Like, it wasn't stylistically spectacular, but it was still fun. 2012 I thought was overrated. 2013 was a thing that happened. 2015 I think was overhyped but accurately rated in the end. I will say I did like 2005 and 2006, and that's not really recent anymore because that's over 10 years ago at this point, but I did like Bloody Mary and Brujeria. 2007 I thought was alright, except that was a Jason song as well. And again, as has been the case with recent Thomas Gayson songs, it sounds alright for a Gayson song. And 2009, again, I thought was pretty good. But I think overall, Say Yay is probably the best Spanish entry, just in my mind, of recent years. But there are other Spanish entries that I like more, but they're from over 10 years ago at this point, so there you go. I suppose I could share with you other people a really stupid thing that my brain did. Like, as soon as I woke up this morning, I had this really dumb joke in my head, and it's not even a joke, but I had this mental image of, like, a YouTube video or something where someone plays, like, a clip of a Eurovision song, and I have to guess the country and the year, except it's in the, like, it's sometime in the really far future. So someone plays a clip of a song, and they're like, oh, guess which song it is? And I'm like, it's Bulgaria 8927. And then, what about this song? Oh, that's, I don't know, some country that doesn't exist yet, like, I don't know, Turkmenistan 9152. And what about this song? It's Moldova 9000. And that's such a dumb joke. But that's a thing that happened in my brain this morning. But yeah, that's true. Spain 2007 was Europe Scalo 8's gateway into the contest. And mine was just the 2007 contest in general. Because I don't remember which came first. I don't remember whether I heard the CD first or if I watched the show first, but 2007 was the first year that I watched the contest, so I didn't really take much from it apart from I was salty that Serbia won, but in hindsight I think Serbia was the right choice of winner, but as a child I was like, no, Ukraine was fun, they should have won, but in hindsight that would have caused so much damage to the contest reputation, so I'm glad that Molitva won. So yeah, of 2010 to 2016, Barret is definitely the best Spanish entry, just to return to that thread of conversation. And then, I think, to put them in order of preference, 2016, 2010, 2011, 2014, 2015, 2013, 2012. Yeah, I liked El Sueño de Morfeo more than I liked Pastora Soler. Like, I get that Pastora is a really brilliant singer, I just didn't like the song. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't seem to understand when it comes to discussing Eurovision songs. Just by saying that I don't like a certain song doesn't mean that I'm discrediting a singer. The same goes for Albania 2012. Rona Nishliu, she's a brilliant singer. Like, it's impressive that she can hit those really high, crazy notes. I just don't think those high, crazy notes should have been there in the first place because it sounded very screamy. But so I'm not questioning their capabilities as a singer. It's just I didn't like those songs in particular. But was it Pastora Soler that did that song Vive? Because that was a good song as well. So there you go. Oh, actually, was it also her that cancelled an international tour because she had stage fright or something? Because I feel like there was one Spanish singer who had done Eurovision that did that, and then Sia did it as well in the same kind of space of time. I think maybe, I don't know. Oh, the irony of misspelling when you're trying to correct your spelling of misspelling. I know what you mean here, Cialfon, it's fine. That's something that Tumblr has pointed out to me in the past, where when you're talking to people on the internet, if you have someone who doesn't speak English as their first language, but they still speak it really well, then they'll speak, like, really properly and, like, get really hung up over spelling mistakes and whatever, and they'll be like, oh my god, I am so sorry for the quality of my English. English isn't my first language. And then you'll have a native English speaker who's just like, lol, it's okay. And then they'll just type with really bad grammar. And honestly, I do that as well sometimes. Like, some people who I'm friends with on Skype, they can confirm that I do speak to them in Tumblrese sometimes, and it's crazy. Yeah, so it was Pastora Soler who had the stage fright incident, which, I mean, fair play to her. She's a person just like everyone else, so I have no problems with... You see, as I said, I don't question her capacity as an artist. Then again, Quédate Conmigo was another Geeson song, wasn't it? It does bother me that Thomas Geeson, right, I don't remember which song was selected first, because it wasn't until 2013 that I properly got into following the national selections and stuff. But either Thomas Geeson already had a hand in Euphoria, so why did he write the Spanish song? Or he had already written the Spanish song, why did he do Euphoria as well? Because I've mentioned this before, and this is my biggest problem with Thomas Geeson, apart from the fact that his songs almost always tend to be overrated anyway. My biggest problem with him is he'll send a song to Eurovision, and it'll get to Eurovision. Then he'll send another song to the same Eurovision. I think that happened in 2007. I forget which one the other one was. It was Spain and... I want to say Spain and Norway? Then there was 2012, Sweden and Spain. And 2013, I think, was just Georgia, so that was fine. I think 2014 was a Geeson-free year, which was nice. Then 2015 was Spain and Georgia. And then this year, who's the other one? Cyprus and Georgia. Like, in the case of this year, Geeson had already written the Cypriot song, and this was fine. This was known for ages. Geeson was gonna write the Cypriot song. And then, sometime after that was all confirmed and set in stone, he helped rewrite the Georgian song as well. There is a rule in the contest saying that one artist can't represent more than one country. So why does that not apply to composers as well? It isn't fair. Give someone else a go. Especially if all your songs are as overrated as yours. Bloody hell, Thomas Geeson. I know that Ralph Siegel technically did that as well, but I think he only did that once. And obviously, I'm not saying that all of Ralph Siegel's songs are brilliant and amazing and defensible and stuff, but like, I come down on Thomas Geeson much harder for it because he continues to do it to this day. I know that Charlie Mason did it in 2015 as well, because he wrote the English version of Beauty Never Lies, and also he helped write the lyrics for Here For You as well, I think. But that was his first time doing it, I think. So again, I'll give composers a free pass to do it once, because, you know, sometime, I think there's a composer who did that this year as well, where they did the song for Norway and someone else, I think. So I feel like sometimes it's acceptable. Say, for instance, if you write a song for two different countries' national finals and it wins both national finals, that's almost forgivable, but I still feel like there should be some level of conscience that says, okay, I'm already representing one country, I shouldn't be this greedy, I shouldn't try to represent more than one, because there's a rule that says that, that artists can't do that, so why should composers be able to do it? And I look forward to that day coming, Lozzie, because I just don't like how Geeson writes a song, it's instantly the best thing ever written. Because I feel like if Thomas Geeson hadn't helped write Georgia's Warrior last year, then it wouldn't have been so highly appreciated. And Cyprus this year as well. I feel like if Thomas Geeson didn't have his name slapped on that song, then a lot more people would just be like, ew, no, what is this rock sound? It makes my ears bleed. But because it's Thomas Geeson, they're like, oh, look at me, I'm so edgy liking this song because it's so death metal. And it's not death metal. It's a pop song, but with a rock instrumentation playing it. Mr. Belarus, man, he seems like a nice guy in person. Also, I've seen like the backstage stuff from I think it was Eurovision, whichever videos the Eurovision YouTube channel uploaded earlier today. And he and Hovey Star seem like really nice people backstage, but like the song itself is okay. But I still don't believe that the EBU will actually let him perform naked and with wolves, because, first of all, that would constitute animal cruelty, having animals with significantly more sensitive hearing than humans on stage surrounded by really loud music. That's asking for trouble, and it's animal cruelty, so it won't be allowed anyway. And he won't be allowed to perform naked because the show is broadcast certainly before Watershed in the UK, and like just on I don't know what the Watershed laws are in other countries, but the point is, he won't be allowed to do it. They're not going to give him special permission. It's like, there is no way they can circumvent that. Because I want to bring up the example again of Montenegro 2012. They wanted a live donkey on stage. The EBU said, no, go screw yourself. That's not allowed because that would be cruel. And so they had a wooden donkey instead. And so I feel like there's no way the EBU were going to let him do it. Like, they might let him be in a state of minimal dress. Like, I don't know, in like a peach-colored morph suit or something. Like, that would... See, what I'm imagining is he might just have a pair of skin-tight, skin-color spandex underwear on and nothing else, and then maybe a couple of people wearing fake wolf costumes, but he's not going to be able to do exactly what he wants, because animal cruelty and inappropriate. So, see, he seems like a nice guy, I just don't really understand where the staging that he's going for almost makes sense, but I don't understand how he can be so convinced that it's a thing that he'll be allowed to do. So, I suppose ultimately it doesn't matter because the fandom has already decided they hate the song too much to let it qualify. Like, at this point, because of the fandom's reaction, I can guarantee it won't qualify, which is a shame because it's a good song. But the fandom has decided that everybody hates it, and so, given how the fandom operates, that's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. So, I suppose I could react to the running order of the semi-finals, but I'm coming up on I've gone past half an hour at this point, and once I've cut stuff out, this will be at around half an hour, so I should end the stream now, because I don't want these to go on for too long, but this has been a fun little discussion anyway, so unless anyone has any burning things that they demand that I talk about, I'm gonna be disappearing, so I can download this stream and then edit it to put in the VEDA stuff, and then re-upload it. So, what have I even been talking about for the last half hour? Because these facecam streams always go by really quickly, but it feels like I always talk about Eurovision and nothing but. I don't know. I don't have any problems with it anyway. So, it would seem that no one's demanding that I stay for much longer, but I suppose I could broadcast the fact that, hey, my next stream is going to be at 10:30 p.m. BST, which is 11:30 p.m. CEST, and 5:30 p.m. EST, if I have any American viewers, which would be surprising given how much I rag on the American spelling system, but still. So, yeah, my next stream will be Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. UK time, and that will be a game that I've not streamed before, because I'm done with Camera Obscura now, because that game's getting far too hard and ragey. So, there'll be another stream like this around this time next week as well, but until then, will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and last chance to say something before I disappear and resume doing Sunday things. It would appear that I have been given the all-clear by the chat to disappear, so, yep, see you in whichever video of mine you happen to choose to watch next. Closing thoughts? I'm surprised how well-received VEDA has been this year. Do I like the new voting system? I think that's a more in-depth discussion for another time, but overall, it doesn't do what SVT want it to do, but I'll go into more detail about it some other time, so I've already outroed at this point, so it'll be awkward for me to carry on talking, so yes, Tessellating Hexagons is me, and see people next time, and voting system is a thing that I will talk about in some other video, so, well, continue to have nice lives, and all of that good stuff.